Extra, extra. Read all about how I painted the Daily Bugle. And by read, I mean watch, because I'm not writing it down. Here we go. Hello and welcome to another episode of Blastercated Painting. So a couple weeks ago, and by weeks I mean a month, a very generous subscriber on one of my live streams asked how I would paint the Daily Bugle from the original core set. And this can be applied to pretty much any terrain that you're going to paint. This is an easy way to get it done quickly and have it look real good. And obviously real good is, I'm just saying I think it looks really good. You'll have to be the judge, of course. But don't judge too harshly, because I am quite fragile. So, here's the one thing, we are going to be using the airbrush. So, if you're not interested in airbrush tutorials, I'm really sorry. But, you should watch and see why maybe getting an airbrush could work for you. You don't need one. Not everybody needs one. I like to have it. It definitely makes this sort of job easier and faster, and it ends up looking a lot better. So, enough talking. Let's do it. So I gave the Bugle a dark spray. It's an olive color spray. It's just a flat spray paint I get at the hardware store. It's by Beauty Tone. It's called Camo Coat. And I didn't glue some of it together. So I left the roof off, the serving window, and the little overhang off. And that's just going to make it easier for me to paint it in sections. Normally I don't do sub-assemblies, but for terrain, I think it definitely helps. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Sick Green, and I'm using a lot of Vallejo on this because I'm comfortable thinning it down. And this is going over the main body of the Bugle. So it's just going to go everywhere. I sped this up, but just get on a good semi-even coat. Now, when using the airbrush on something like this that is technically outside in the universe of your game, it is outside. It gets hit with dust from cars passing, wind, and rain. So it's not going to come out looking pristine. Even buildings that are brand new, after a week, they start to get dirtied up. Just all the dust flying around a city will just do that. So it's okay if it's not perfect, which is another advantage because we don't do perfect here on this channel. And we're never going to. That's my promise to you. So we're going to take some Moon Yellow and we're going to add that into our green. So instead of brightening it up with, a white, which will really take a lot of the color out of it, we're using this Moon Yellow. And we're going in just these areas and just hitting it with that green and just kind of creating, a brighter spot. So again, this doesn't have to be perfect. We're not worried about going on the slats in the middle because we're going to go paint those differently. But this ends up looking really nice. Next, we're taking some neutral gray and we're just going to put this all over the roof. Just do a clean coat of it. Then we're going to take some light blue, and same thing we just did with the green. We're just going to go into these middle areas, stay away from those the lines down the center, and we're just going into the middle of them and kind of bringing up that color. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but it looks good. Then we're taking some dark earth here. This is going to be used on all the browns. So we do want to kind of angle this so we're not getting too much on the roof. But it's okay if we get a little, because that dark brown over the other colors is going to create a bit of a shadow. So we want to go in and just get these slats as well. And again, it's all right if we have some overspray, because this is a dirty building outside. Colors run, paint drips, things get into the cracks of things and leak, dirty water. So we're not too concerned about it, and it ends up looking really good. Now we're going to take some ultramarine blue. This is going to go on the windows. So this is the case where we want to kind of have some control, because we don't want to get this on really any of the other colors. We don't want to overspray. So just practice drawing squares on like a paper towel and filling them in first. We're going to take some Insignia white. We're going to add that into our ultramarine blue, which is really going to desaturate it a little bit. And we're just going to go in and we're leaving the edges. So the edges are still going to be blue, that ultramarine, and we're just lightening up the middle of the window. So this is, I don't know, this is just kind of to make it look like it's getting brighter. We add a little bit more Insignia white into it, and then we've got kind of our final highlight there. Next, we're going to take some Basilisk red, and we're just going to put this on the overhang part. Like, I'm assuming that this is like a canvas overhang. So we sprayed that brown all over this, and we're just going to go in and just fill in these center parts. And we do want to be a little careful that we're not, you know, going over it. We can also take some of this and put it on couple of these magazines or comic books or whatever they are on the windowsill. Next, we're taking Demonic Yellow, Greenskin, and Aqua Alchemy, and we're just going to fill in these comics on there. I'm just going to do plain block colors. If you want to go in and start adding details like writing or even like white lines and black lines to make it look more like a book, go ahead. This is just an easy way to do this. It really depends on how much you want to do. Like, this is going to be for gaming. Like, I'm not doing a diorama piece here. I'm doing a piece that's going to go on the board, which I want it to look good. I don't want it to look bad. But how much effort do I really want to put into it, especially when we're supposed to be doing this quickly? Plus, if you took a picture like of your game and you got your painted characters in front and they're fighting, nobody's really going to notice that much. So really push it as far as you want, but I'm not pushing. Next, we're going to take some enchanted steel here. This is going to go on all the parts that are metal. So the door handles, the lights, the vents. So it's got the vent down on the door here, the vent on the ceiling, the roof, and also the vent on the back of the building. And this is just an easy one coat application with the speed paint. It goes over any of the colors we've already painted. You do not have to put metallic speed paints over white or a light color. They will cover over any color, which is actually one of their, I think that's a really good feature. And we just want to make sure that we're not getting this again on any of the other colors. We can also throw this on the cash register here at the front of the stand. Next, we're taking some deep red here. We're going to use this on the back of the behind the letters of the Daily Bugle. The sign, the letters are on top of a design, so it's going to go on there. Pick whatever red you want. This is the one I picked. I ended up having to do a couple coats of it. It did not cover well over the dark, so if you have one that covers better, maybe use that. Next, we're going to take some desert yellow here. We're going to do a dry brush of the bottom parts, basically, of this thing. So we're just going to start hitting the edges, and this is going to be kind of rough. We're going to do some stippling, some dry brushing. This is the dust that collects at the bottom of a building. So if you go out and look at any building, there's dust down there. Like, it's a lot of dust and grime, and basically everything that would be in a city ends up collecting on the bottoms of buildings. So we just want to go through and just start adding some of this. It's going to give it a nice sort of worn look. It's also going to take away a bit of any of the overspray we did, but it ends up looking pretty natural. Next, we're taking some snake bite leather, and we're going to put this on our palette, and we're going to put it down really thinly in the corners of things, and then we're going to drag it down and sort of make it look like this is leaky areas. So water, rain gets up into these boards and then eventually leaks down, and it's dirty and filthy and disgusting. And if we drag it down, we thin it out, so it looks more like a stain instead of just a thick paint that we've put on there. Now we're going to take some fresh rust. I haven't used this yet, so we're just going to kind of stipple this on some of the areas that are metal just to age them down. This thing, again, it's outside in the rain. We're going to take some matte black next, and we are going to go in behind the sign. So behind where that red is and behind the bugle symbol, we're going to go in and do all of that. There are some areas like behind this, like, yeah, right here, where if we mess up the red, we just go in and fix it. It's not a big deal. Next, we're going to take some oak brown, and the oak brown is just going to go on the edges around the sign. So I wanted a bit of a brighter brown. Like, I feel like the building got built and the sign was built somewhere else and they put it on after, so it doesn't match exactly. Like, in my head, I was like, J. Jonah Jameson got the cheapest building he could, and then he got someone else to make the sign because they were going to do it cheaper, because he is a cheapskate. Anyway, next we're going to take some greedy gold here, and this is just going through and doing the bugle. So we just want, you know, semi-decent coat on here. Doesn't have to be perfect. And the new Army Painter golds, the metallics that they have for the Fanatic range, are really good. So you can just go in and pick out all these little spots easy. Then we're going to take some ash gray. This is going to be over the lettering. This should go on basically in one coat. If it doesn't, you know, just go through. We're going to attach the sign, and then it's done. And this honestly took about an hour's worth of work to get it all done. And here it is, all finished up. And you know, honestly, for a quick piece of terrain, that airbrush made things so much easier. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It's not a hard paint with that airbrush. So obviously this might not be the most exciting miniature or miniature gaming terrain to paint, but it's definitely rewarding when you go through with that airbrush and you can get those colors down quick, and they look good. Like, it doesn't look bad. It's just such an easy way to do it. How are you guys painting your core set terrain? I realize that this is the terrain from the older core set, but it carries through to the stuff in the new core set, except that I think the one building's like half destroyed. But anyway, how are you guys painting your terrain? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. You guys have a great day. Extra. Read all about it. Man punches dog. That's weird. Why did I say that? Extra, read all about it. We're painting something. Guess I wasn't ready. J. Jonah Jameson's a jerk. He really is. Then he's like a nice guy, but sometimes, and whatever, he's just selling papers. He's just moving papers, man. That's all it's about.